Hello and welcome to the jungle garden in Denmark. We are in the beginning of autumn, and that means that the gingers are flowering, which you can see here, Hedychium helendillen. But so many other plants are in flower at the moment, like eucomis and the cannas, and they have been really long on their way this year. And the alströmerias, and they've been flowering since June. So there is a lot of flowers to look at the moment. I have just been on a quick trip to England, where they are masters of these sort of gardens. Even though we were only there for a long weekend to visit some friends, we managed to visit Kew Gardens and Abbotsbury subtropical gardens. So this episode will be about our visit to Kew Gardens, and then there'll be a part 2 about Abbotsbury. Kew Gardens is the Royal Botanical Gardens with nearly 20,000 different plant species. The collection was started in 1759 by King George II and his family. The gardens cover 326 acres or 130 hectares. 2/3 of the gardens is a collection of approximately 14,000 trees, which represent approximately 2,000 different species. Some have been planted back in the 18th century and are as old as the gardens. In the gardens there are different huge glass houses that we visited. We first went to the palm house, which was built in 1844 to 1848. It is 110 meters long, 30 meters wide and 19 meters tall, or 328 feet long, 98 feet wide and 62 feet tall. This glass house imitates the climate of the rainforest with 25 degrees Celsius or 75 degrees Fahrenheit and a humidity of 85%. It is a living laboratory with plants from all tropical areas in the world together under one roof. They have been planted in the same way they would grow in nature, with climbers growing up the trunks of palms and trees and underplanting of dwarf palms and other smaller plants. Some of the tallest trees almost reach the glass ceiling 19 meters up. A lot of the plants here in the palm house are close to be extinct in nature. Some actually already are. Those banana plants are just a bit taller than the ones at home in the garden. Here in the palm house you find the world's oldest pot plant, Encephalatus altosteinii from South Africa. It has lived in the house since 1848. Then we continue to the temperate house. It is more than twice the size of the palm house. It covers an area of approximately 5,000 square meters and is home for about 10,000 different plant species from the temperate zones of the world. It was opened to the public in 1863 and is the world's largest glasshouse from the Victorian era. In this house you find the world's loneliest plant, Encephalatus woodii, which most likely is the last of its kind. It has lived in the house since 1899. It is a cycad, and because it cannot pollinate itself, propagation depends on finding another plant of the opposite sex, in this case a female, and that hasn't happened yet. After that, we visited Princess of Wales Conservatory, which was opened in 1987.
Yes, they are.
It too is a huge glass house covering an area of 4,500 square meters. It is the most complex and technological advanced building in the Kew Gardens. It has been designed to imitate the different habitats on the planet and contains 10 computer-controlled climate zones. Some huge tree ferns, considering that they only grow a couple of centimeters or about an inch every year. These must be hundreds of years old. They have done a very good job in making it look natural, as with this waterfall.
Find that beautiful. He's not going to play on the floor. I don't think he can take his phone out.
It goes through the alpine.
A lot of the plants used for underplanting are plants we know as houseplants, and unfortunately we can't grow them in the garden. Here you'll find a big variety of plants. One of the largest is the giant water lily Victoria amazonica, whose leaves can measure up to 3 meters in diameter or almost 10 feet. The flowers open at sunset and close in the morning. Also, the desert display had been made very realistic.
There's the guys that manage the whole thing, the club. And said, you have to, and they said, okay, well, we have to go and get a child's attest for you, for me. So because you have a child in there, then we some years ago, this is that we
Last stop was the water lily house. It's a smaller glass house which was designed to house the giant water lily Victoria amazonica that now lives in the Princess of Wales Conservatory. The house was finished in 1852 and covers 225 square meters. It contains a round pond with a diameter of 10 meters or 32 feet, only 45 to 60 centimeters deep or 1.5 to 2 feet deep, which is enough for these water lilies. It is minimum 20 degrees Celsius or 68 degrees Fahrenheit and 75% humidity. It is now home to an even bigger water lily, Victoria boliviana, whose leaves can be more than 3 meters or 10 feet in diameter. It was collected in 1845 and was believed to be Victoria amazonica. It wasn't until 2016 that it was discovered to be a completely different species. This water lily flowers at night too, and only for 2 nights. After this, the flower sinks to the bottom of the pond. The flower starts off being white and then turns pink. These water lilies are grown from seed every year, so what you see is grown in one season. Here you can also see 2 water lily hybrids with blue flowers made by Kew Gardens. It was extremely beautiful and impressive, but make sure you have plenty of time. We spent almost the whole day here. And this was all for now. Thanks for watching.